Brothers jumping in. Algunos de mis hermanos están entrando. Boti Santangelo, hermano mío, Kiki Erigosen, Mar del Plata, mi hermano. Veo que algunos más están entrando por aquí. Mis hermanos de Argentina, bienvenido. Coach Buster Perkins, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right, man. How you doing?
We hanging in there, man. We hanging in there. We appreciate you taking up your time with us today. Today we have our Juneteenth celebration podcast, our TMBT Media podcast. We are blessed today to have Coach Coach Buster Perkins. Tenemos algunos de nuestros hermanos de Argentina. Coach Boti Santangelo, nuestro hermano, Kiki Erigosen, mi hermano de Mar del Plata, varios hermanos de nuestra familia. Es un placer a tener ustedes con nosotros, obviamente. Mando saludos a todos que están entrando. Vamos a empezar entre un ratito. Bienvenido. Coach Perkins, how you doing today, brother? Happy birthday. Talk to us a little bit.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Explain to our audience who you are, for those that don't already know who you are and how dear and near you are to our heart. One of our local professional basketball players. Well, not local, by way of Virginia Union, by way of Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas. Talk to us today a little bit about your journey. Today we'll be talking a little bit about Juneteenth and your journey, your Arkansas history, your Virginia history, and your basketball legacy that you are leaving behind. We'll also be talking a little bit about your business that you have currently started within the past year in Little Rock, Arkansas. So while we have some more people joining, Coach Perkins, talk to us a little bit about yourself. Explain to our listeners who you are, please.
Well, I don't know what's there to say. Right now, I'm definitely running a business here in Little Rock, Arkansas, where we're trying to, build up our players' skill level and prepare them more for those heavy levels that they're going to face. So, just really trying to push it forward for the next generation. But of course, I played in Virginia for Virginia Union University and got my degree in 2008. So, it's been a journey before I went on to play in Australia and Europe and Romania. So, just happy to be here. I appreciate you having me on.
Well, you are part of our TMBT family. Have been since you were at Union. I think you finished in 08, 09, and you attended one of our professional basketball camps here in Richmond, Virginia. And it's an honor to see you grow and become and try to help kids as you've seen us try to do here so many times. My motto. You and I have talks about youth and professional basketball players, kids trying to go to college. I think you and I are currently trying to help some young men come from overseas in a country that you played in. And so I'm appreciative to have young fellas like yourself, guys like Bo Jones that take the game seriously, that understand that it's a way of life, man. It's a way of life. So talk to me. I know you and I were talking earlier about some of the Juneteenth celebrations that you guys are currently having in Little Rock, Arkansas. Talk to us a little bit about what you guys do as far as the holiday, what it means to you. A very important day for our culture, more so for you because you are Aboriginal. So explain to us a little bit about what Juneteenth means to you and your family.
Well, this is an important day in history, especially for Black history, minority history anywhere around the world. So Juneteenth, it talks about the emancipation that was finally reached down south in Galveston, Texas. So, I always try to refresh my history and, try to be knowledgeable as I can about everything that's going on here. But they have a lot of good things going on here in Little Rock. A lot of volunteer positions that they've been having downtown. So it looks like it's been pretty interesting. So I look forward to joining in. Tomorrow's probably festivities is probably going to see me more, but yeah, I know they have a lot of celebrations here in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Hey man, there's a lot of history from what I understand in the city of Little Rock, Arkansas, in the state. Talk to me a little bit, for those that have not heard you on our previous podcast, pre-pandemic, 2018, 2019, 2017. Refresh our memories. Who is Buster Perkins? Talk to us a little bit about your upbringing, Little Rock, Arkansas, your family beliefs, educational beliefs. Of course, as we all know, a legendary basketball player in Richmond, Virginia, at Virginia Union, the vainglorious Virginia Union University, Panthers, as we call them. Refresh our memories. Who is Buster Perkins? How he started playing basketball, and how he has come to be the young legend, one of my super friends who is giving back to young kids in the city of Little Rock, Arkansas, where he was born and raised.
Well, I mean, I always tell the guys, and I speak from the heart with it. I actually grew up playing baseball. That was my number one sport. Kind of still is. You know, that's my little thing. When I want some peace, I go play baseball. I might play golf or something. But basketball was just one of those things I just ended up clinging to. Everybody in my neighborhood was playing it, so we all just kind of, kept the momentum going, kept chasing the rabbit when it comes to the best players, and trying to really kind of, be ready for them, to be able to play against them anytime and be ready. So, and now that's what we really we're trying to set up our future generation when it comes to training the kids and preparing them in their skill level. So it's been an honor to be able to be in the good conversations of good, talented players, trainers. So I'm looking forward to building towards the future. So, yeah. I appreciate you having me on. You're the legend yourself, Mr. Bell. I know your history, so don't be shy. You got to let the people know who you are.
Well, I appreciate it, man. But these podcasts, this series that I plan on having, I'm doing this summer, is to celebrate my friends. I call you guys the super friends. And so you are doing above and beyond your part, trying to give back to the youth of Little Rock, Arkansas. When you were here, you were very influential in what we were doing with the pros and the college and the high school kids. And so it's a pleasure to see. Sometimes when you're young, you don't understand the impact that you can make just by giving back, just by talking to kids. And I actually believe that the younger you are, the more they'll listen to you, if that makes any sense. You are currently a player, you're still playing overseas, and you have that, you're in that lane. So you have a way of, I personally feel, when you can get on the court and show young people how to play basketball, they understand it better, right? And so to see you get up, talk to us a little bit about your program out there, man. I know you up early in the morning, all day program. Talk to us a little bit about the Basketball Trainer LLC.
Well, the Basketball Trainer LLC, that's the company I created, really out of, the result of having COVID-19. Caught it put me down pretty bad, and then, being able to strengthen myself up through really basketball, and then reverting back to training myself. A lot of people, started clinging to the movement, and, before I knew it, it took over my schedule. So turned into a blessing, something good out of the bad. So now, I'm close to back to 100%, still just, trying to push through and navigate a healthy lifestyle when it comes to the whole COVID movement. So you got to always be prepared. But now just preparing the kids. A lot of guys getting ready for college, or they're getting ready for their junior high team, high school team. So we just try to more prepare the guys, and it's been an honor to, like I said, be in this field. So.
Now talk to us a little bit, of course, for us listeners, people like myself that have not had a chance to visit Little Rock, Arkansas. Paint the picture for us of a young Buster Perkins, the options that you had available. I know you and I were talking earlier about our podcast that we'll be doing basketball during the 2000s, right? Talk to us a little bit about the chances and the opportunities that are available in Little Rock, Arkansas in 2022 that were maybe not available during your day, and what you're actually doing to create those opportunities for the youth in your city where you were born and raised.
Well, I mean, I could talk all day about Little Rock. I'm from here, so I think it's more good than bad in my view. So I always tell the guys, it is what you make it. You know, if you want to if you want to go overseas, or if you want to, try to make it to the NBA, I think it's examples after examples here in Little Rock, Arkansas, on you can do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's always been a lot of good people, got a good Keys. A lot of good mentors and older players around here. What up? Thank you, Keys. So, but yeah, not only the players, but even when it comes to the trainers, I think that was another key reason why I made this business, and I really created. I just wanted to leave something behind for my son, and then it was something I felt like I understood. I understood the lifestyle of not only being a player, but being around trainers. Having to reach out to be able to get better, because I didn't do it on my own. You know what I'm saying? So you always gotta have to know how to access a trainer, and I wanted to make it easier. So it wasn't just an idea, just Buster Perkins wanting to train everybody. No, not really. It was really more trying to develop a program that can last forever, and we really want to have the top trainers around. So it ain't just myself. I can't do it by myself. So I'm always looking for good hands to be able to help me when it comes to really building up the kids and their skill level. So
I wanted to point out, not to cut you off, one of our coaches that just joined from Argentina is Coach Botti Santangelo, that is one of our coaches from TMBT Argentina, that I think when you were here in Richmond, we sent a group over to Argentina, and Coach Santangelo sends birthday wishes to you as well. I don't know if you remember him.
Okay, appreciate it.
Yeah. He doesn't speak any English, so I'll translate for him. No worries, man. Continue, man.
Wow.
Yeah. Continue.
Yeah.
So many.
But I mean, also when it comes to the other stuff that's available here in Arkansas, like I said, we have mentors, older players, trainers. Let me see here. A lot of good facilities here, and the competition is just, is really surpassing what people really think of Arkansas. It's a really, it's a really good players here, right. And we always try to show them the standard of what it takes. But these guys, man, they take the standard and they run off with it. So now it's about, really getting their mentality and them, make sure they're mature enough for that next level. So it isn't always just basketball. It really trying to help these guys develop as young men as well. So
right.
Preparing them for the big picture.
Right.
That's really, what we thrive to do. So, yeah.
That's big. Some people from Argentina are asking, are we going to speak Spanish? Do you want to start, or you want me to start? If you look down the bottom, they're saying Spanish.
Yeah, no, I seen. Do I speak Spanish? No, I do not.
Sí. Hoy es el cumpleaños de nuestra técnico Buster Perkins. Mañana es el cumpleaños de él, y estamos brindando a su cumpleaños con un podcast, hablando de su compañía, hablando de su mercancía con su ropa. Él es un cliente mío, un jugador mío que jugó aquí en mi ciudad. También jugó básquet profesional en varios países, y hoy estamos celebrando su cumpleaños, que es mañana. Bien simple. Bienvenido a toda nuestra familia de Argentina, de Latinoamérica. Estamos celebrando el cumpleaños del señor Buster Perkins. Bus, I'm just explaining to some of our Spanish listeners that are tuning in. They're wondering, they get mad at me when I don't translate into Spanish and speak some Spanish. So You got some people that want to give you a shout out in Spanish, so I will be reading them as they come along in Spanish. I think Kamal Ramos just joined us as well, who was on the Skype call that we had with the team, the guys you just talked about, the pro guys we have, part of our TMBT Argentina. Kamal Ramos, one of our forwards, was on that call. Explain to the people listening, Coach Buster Perkins, what you shared with our TMBT Argentina pros that will be traveling in July. And what do you share and what do you say to young guys that want to do what you did as a basketball player, that want to travel the world or want to play pro basketball? Share with the people listening. What do you say with, what do you tell Kamal Ramos today? What'd you tell him?
I mean, you just got to work hard and that you can do it. You just got to believe in yourself and you got to put in the work. You got to be a good person. You know what I'm saying? It won't be just basketball. You know, you got to be able to, be able to cling with the local players and be able to bring them up. That's why they have you there. They don't really just need talent just like that, but they want you to be special. Come and make your mark in the community. So it's more than basketball, really. So that's something that you got to understand. You got to be business savvy when it comes to traveling and being an international basketball player, if that's what you want to do. So
right. Okay. Let's say, you and I know what it is. Kamal Ramos, some of the guys we see that's on here, I think Prentice Bell just joined us. We know what that means to be everything that you just said. Let's go back. Explain to the novice, explain to the female, or explain to the male that has no idea what professional basketball consists of. So let's break it down, if you will. Let's go back and explain it so that everyone understands. Of course, they won't understand what it takes, but let's get them as close as we can to the process of what it takes to be Buster Perkins.
I don't know about Buster Perkins. You probably end up being better than me, but it just takes definitely, being serious about your craft. And if you're in the sport, so definitely, take it serious. It comes to working out 2 or 3 times a day or sacrificing time and, really giving more effort. You got to take it serious. So you take it serious, it'll reward you in the way that you really want to. So it'll take you where you want to, but you got to put in the work. And it is possible. So, and I'm living proof. The levels that I made it to, I think that, a lot of players can make it too. They just got to be disciplined. So, yeah.
Discipline. Talk a little bit about your family structure. You've been to JUCO, Ohio. You didn't have a easy travel itinerary by no means, but you didn't give up. You made it work. You got the best out of it, received your degree, and have now made the transition from professional basketball player to entrepreneur. Take us back once again for those that have no idea, or for those guys that may be listening that are currently playing, thinking about getting into the podcasting world or thinking about getting into the training world. You and I talk all the time about how underappreciated, the word that I would like to use is underappreciated. Underappreciated that trainers like yourself, young guys that actually have played the game on a very high level and have the genius level to explain what happens and what these kids will be going through. Talk to us a little bit about
that last part. I couldn't hear you.
Right. I was saying, explaining to our listeners what it takes to go from being a professional basketball player to an entrepreneur, starting your own training business, your own basketball business, and how underappreciated people like you and I understand that we are, and how we need to do more for our youth, because of course we are learning that in Arkansas and Las Vegas, Miami, Virginia, kids are dying from violence, gun violence, and how basketball can be that vehicle to maybe, as we're doing here, we'll be doing here in the Richmond, Virginia area, We started a Milton Bell basketball street team that's going to go out and do some violent, stop the violence movement type games and situations for the youth, and just try to turn some tragedy into some positivity, right? So talk about yourself a little bit. I know you're not a big bragger, but brag on yourself a little bit.
Man, I mean, we just try to build the kids up and put them in a safe environment, giving them a resource that they could practice using for the long term, something that they don't have to just turn off when they graduate high school or college, and, show them that they can really take it somewhere else if they want to. So that's really what we pride ourselves on, and, we don't try to pull a rabbit out of a hat. I'm kind of using my Dave Robbins. Shout out to Coach Dave Robbins.
Okay, Dave Robbins. Talk about, for those listeners that don't know who Dave Robbins is, talk about the legend Dave Robbins and how clearly he has made a everlasting impression on you. You still repeat and live by some things that he shared. Talk to our listeners a little bit about who the legendary man Dave Robbins is.
Man, I don't think we got enough hours in the day to talk about the resume.
Of course we don't. But
I mean, just reading it back, he's won 3 NCAA Division II championships, 14 CIAA championships, which I was a part of one of them. So that part, hey man, he got a lot of history, man, a lot of hardware. So, yeah, I can talk all day about Coach. So,
for those that don't know,
he's gonna have his own special podcast today.
Of course, for those that don't know who and what we're talking about the legendary basketball coach, who was Buster's coach at the vainglorious Virginia Union University. Buster's head coach. A great man, someone who has guided young men, and I hear on a daily basis about how much he has changed and helped the lives of so many people. So we're talking about the legendary coach Dave Robbins, who I think Buster Perkins retired in. You finished. He retired soon after you finished. You guys, your class, maybe 5 years, 10 years after you finished. 5 years, maybe. Dave Robbins.
He retired like what? 1 year? 1 year after 2 years?
1 year, 2 years, yeah. Seems like, but he was there when I was a kid in 1982. I went to a camp that he had.
2008. That's when he retired April 15, 2008. So that was the year I graduated. So my extra year, 1 more year after.
Right. But what I mean, he still remained involved in the program. The court is named after him. He still comes back, talks to the players, gives his input. So it's almost like he's not retired, in my opinion. He still has his imprint on the program. And Jay Butler, who is the current head coach, is a disciple of Dave Robbins. So his legacy lives on, if that makes any sense what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely makes sense to me. So, yeah.
Definitely, man. Let's talk a little bit about your. We have been seeing of course, the unfortunate war that is taking place currently. Today, June 18th, 2022, the war that's currently taking place in Ukraine. Russia doing damage in Ukraine. You were blessed to play basketball right next door in Romania, which is, talk to us about your experience, how far Romania is from Russia. I understand this. You and I talk about this all the time. I actually played in Bulgaria myself. Talk about pro basketball in Romania, your time there, and I guess how it makes you feel seeing that happen to Romania. In my personal opinion, Romania, like Bulgaria, where I played, is a part of the USSR. So they're all Russian people that are harming each other. Talk to us a little bit about your time in that part of Eastern Europe.
man, it feels like a time long ago. But I mean, it was a good experience for myself. I met a lot of good people, a lot of good teammates. The younger players, I was one of the older players on the team when I was passing through Europe. So it was a good chance to be able to build up the players while I was there that were coming up through their organization. So, and now some of the players still play for other teams in that national league. So, yeah, man, it was a good experience for myself. I'm very thankful for my time in Romania.
Hey, man, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Talk to us a little bit about what you're currently doing. From what I understand, you have some very positive people that are in your corner. Some people, some young men, students, as we call them. You have some coaches that are really into trying to help build your brand and help some young men. Talk about your operation, man. Talk a little bit about your operation that you currently have going in Little Rock, Arkansas, and your intentions to expand. You have merch that we'll be talking about in a minute. I want you to talk about your merch. I want you to talk about your brand that you built in a short amount of time, if you will.
Well, yeah, the Basketball Trainer LLC, that's my business here in Little Rock. And with the merch, it was just really something for the kids to be able to, feel a part of, the family. So give them something, as us players here in Arkansas, it's not that, often that a lot of players get to make it out. So when we do, we like to be able to come back and be able to relate to the kids that, give them a chance and some hope. So, try to say, we taking some, take some greatness with you. So, yeah, but the end of the day, the nickname for the first couple of shirts that we had was, the dirty shirt. So the kids would buy their dirty shirt and practice in it and keep practicing. Hey, man, that's your dirty shirt. Wear it out. So I expect the whole logo and everything to be wore off because I want them to wear it that much.
Now, what gave you the idea for the dirty shirt? Because it's genius. Because you and I know kids, especially young guys playing basketball, you need one shirt that you can just dog out. Right? It is what it is. It's not a school shirt. It's not a church shirt. It's just a basketball shirt. And what gave you the idea to come up with the dirty shirt?
It was very simple, really. It was a no-brainer. It started at the summer training camp. Shout out to Mr. Warren. The company here in Arkansas, he did my shirts, and they turned out great. So, I always Mr. Reverend Warren, actually, he helped me with that. And so it was, he had so many shirts that we had enough to pass around. Kids would get 1, 2, 3 dirty shirts. And so they'll be wearing them out. And, now I still see them pull up in the group sessions with their dirty shirt from last summer. So it's always good to, have the kids be able to remember that and take that with them and still be represented. So it feels good to be able to have some new dirty shirts for them to be able to rock, and now with a little bit more style. So, yeah.
Right.
Trying to add a little bit of sauce to it.
Okay. Little Arkansas, as they call it, a little Arkansas flair to it, little barbecue. From what I understand, you guys do barbecue really big out there. Here in Richmond, Carolina, South, barbecue's big, man. So it's like a individual spin on it. Basketball is one thing here. I'm sure basketball in Arkansas is something totally different, but it's something that kids use, like you and I did. We used it to escape our circumstances and to create a life for ourselves that now we're able to give back to some more people. We're going to be closing up here pretty soon, doing our Juneteenth celebration podcast here with our basketball legend, Buster Perkins. In closing, we want you to give some social media handles, some emails for those listening. May want to travel out with you to Arkansas, to the Midwest, or out to Las Vegas with you when we have our camp this summer. give some social media handles, your basketball trainer, IG, Twitter. Blow us up.
I'm going to leave it in the comment section, but yeah, I got you. The basketball trainer.
So the basketball
trainer LLC. The basketball trainer LLC. Boom, I'm just putting it in the comments right now. Maybe you can pin it or something. I'm not sure.
Okay. The basketball trainer. So at the basketball trainer is his Instagram for those wanting to contact him. He has some great wisdom on playing pro basketball. He has some great knowledge on how to be a pro. One of my original students, and one of my favorite young men because of his work ethic. And so I'm appreciative to have him come back and speak to our current class of people, of clients today. We had a Skype chat with about 5 of our guys that'll be traveling to job interviews down in South America with us at the end of this month.
Say something about your South American trip.
Well, true. We had Kamal Ramos and these guys. We are preparing our next group. We've been invited to come back to Argentina at the beginning of July to display our next group of talent, and hopefully we have some young men: PJ Austin, Javon Hayes, Kamal Ramos, Anthony Lamosin, Omar Briggs, and these guys who just returned. One of your Virginia Union guys going back to represent our company, and hopefully they'll be bringing back some of the jobs. They'll have a couple job interviews, and hopefully these guys will be able to bring back some jobs for the company, man. Make us look good. We haven't had any contracts signed since the pandemic's been over, but we're looking forward to this group of young men. PJ Austin leading us into the future, getting jobs signed. Omar Briggs, Javon Hayes, Dion Rodriguez. Coach Bo Jones is doing a great job with those guys down in Miami. Also in Richmond. Shout out Coach Bo Jones.
I was going to ask you that.
And just trying to help some more young men. I think you and I talked earlier today about you have some people that are contacting you from some of the countries that you played in, trying to get them into school here, and you reached out to me. So I'm appreciative to have young guys like yourself and Coach Bo Jones that are helping me to help some serious young men try to play the game of basketball at a high level, and to do it on with a high level of love. And I think that's what it comes down to. And so coming out with our Milton Bell basketball rankings, ranking the top players in Richmond, Virginia, starting with Dennis Parker as the player of the year. Yeah.
Dude, what? Got the ranking of the top players?
Right. We have our ranking that'll be coming out next week of the top players in the Richmond metro area. And that's something that we're looking forward to doing, led by Dennis Parker Jr., the player of the year here in Richmond, Virginia, and just shedding some light on the youth high school as well as the pros, and trying to shed some light on some young men that are doing some great things at a young age. So I'm looking forward to our rankings coming out. I think you and I at some point talked about doing a high school ranking in Arkansas. I see you going to the games, and you seem to be abreast of what's going on. So we would love to know what's going on in Arkansas. You and I have been talking about trying to have a weekly update of what you got going on in Arkansas with your group of kids. Kind of like our TMBT Arkansas brothers, our extension of positive energy that we're trying to give back. It's good to know we got young brothers like you that's holding it down in Arkansas, man. Trying to give back to the young people. Talk about some more young people in Arkansas that you have helping you, that you are Glad to have on your team some more trainers. Talk about what it is you guys do as a group.
Well, we have Larry Williams. He's definitely one of the best guys I know that knows basketball, and he's been doing a great job with advancing my junior high school, college players to the next level. So I really, I'm still more hands-on with the beginners because I want to definitely make sure they start off with some foundation, and I like to be that guy that is there in place to be able to help them develop their skill level. So I definitely like to build them up, and then I don't mind passing them off to somebody that, I trust. And it's not only just Larry. It's a lot of good trainers here in Little Rock. I mean, that's right. Like I said, that's one of the main reasons why I got into this line and named it the basketball trainer, because it won't be by myself for the rest of the business's future. So, it's a lot of great trainers here in Little Rock, and at some point, hey, I like to be able to build and have more trainers around. So right now we just build a foundation so we can be able to have that standard to be able to keep going forward for years to come. So we just want to be able to make our mark in history one step at a time, but with, some high quality. So, and like I said, it's a lot of great trainers, definitely a lot of great players coming through. Hey, I've seen a lot through training, but I've also been able to have the opportunity to play a few. So, I mean, even with the recent Dunbar League that's going on, the Dunbar has, it ain't like it used to be, but that's just for right now. It's always, some of these always start out, a little slow. Everybody trying to figure out who's playing with who's in town to play with whoever, so it always is like that. And then the talent, usually comes out, and, by playoff time, you really know who's ready for this action and who's not. So, early, it don't matter if you play good or bad. Get ready for the tournament. How about that?
Right.
The Dunbar tournament. So
give us an email. Let's say we got let's say we have a young man at home that's listening, wants to lives in the Midwest close to you, or wants to come to our camp in Las Vegas, wants to talk to Coach Perkins to get his process started. What's an email that he can contact you with? What's a phone number that he can reach out to you tomorrow if need be?
Well, we definitely have our website where you can reach at thebasketballtrainerllc.org, and it has my email, which is thebasketballtrainerllc@gmail.com. So you got that, and the phone number 501-355-7500. That's what we call the business line, the basketball hotline. So that's how we kind of keep it organized. Therefore, myself or anybody else who is in the, you could say the manager position of it, can, keep everything organized, channel everybody through one line or one resource, and then be able to set up our appointments and keep our groups and individual sessions or private sessions organized and knowing who's going to show up. So, like I said, we really have everything set up online so everybody can stream right to the spots to be able to lock in their spots after they get a pass off the internet. So kids buying bundles and they spread out their passes, kind of like being at the arcade. So you get so many coins and so many passes, and then you set up your own schedule. So it's been cool so far.
Now explain a little bit, if you will, everybody, yourself included, everyone is going with the QR code method of paying and method of learning, and just QR codes seems to be the happening thing today. Talk to us a little bit about your QR code and how it spearheads what you're doing for your company, and how much you depend on your information and your data that gets out to your kids, word of mouth, all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. Talk about how it generates your sales.
Well, the QR code, I've used it a couple of times, but it doesn't matter if it's a QR code or a phone number or email, whatever's up there that, a kid or a parent can be able to connect with you. That's really what you want. So some things work better for some people. I know emails worked for me for a while, but emails haven't worked, at certain points as well. So depends on what's going on in the parents' life, the kids' life, as well as with the business, what they see. So just making sure you're putting some good stuff up that, can be able to reach out and be able to set something up. That's pretty much it.
Hey, man, that's big. That's big. We're not going to keep you much longer. In closing, Any shout outs that you want to give? Any people that are really in your corner that when they listen, they know that you are thankful for having them a part of your team. Some shout outs, some
Get your merch. Get your merch.
Right, we got the basketball trainer merch is.
Get your merch.
Can your merch be found on your website?
You have to DM me for the merch, and I'll just be able to. You got to pre-order your merch, and then we send it out to you. So
okay.
Get to you. Just we got to figure out how we can get it to you. That's it.
Okay.
But it's pretty something to be able to relate to.
Good, man.
Get your merch.
Good. So we have merch for your business. You have QR codes. You have clientele. What have you come to find out from an entrepreneurial standpoint? In closing, what have you come to find out from an entrepreneurial standpoint? Best help you the best get your message, your movement out to the masses. What have you found in 2022? So many avenues, cryptocurrency, people believe in gold, some cash, some QR codes, website, boom. What does Buster Perkins believe in to get his message out to his clientele?
My message and my way that works is really, I would just say doing good work and word of mouth. That's worked over everything. Even though I try to do some of the marketing on Facebook and Instagram, that's really me just doing my due diligence as a business. I'm trying to make sure I am being seen, putting stuff out there. And sometimes I don't even want to put stuff out there. I'm not really a fan of social media like that. So I really just come on there to promote the business and keep it moving. So, like I said, the hard work speaks for itself. So I think that if you're showing good work and if you've been able to, really improve kids, it'll show. And I think that's really what mine really says. So That's really what mine has been building. I can't really, credit it to anything else besides that. So really shout out to my players for getting better, really being serious, and the parents for trusting me with their players. I think that's really the key. So the parents, how about that?
The parents are quite important. Yeah. In closing, last question. Coach Buster Perkins, why is the basketball quote-unquote trainer, why are they so undervalued? You and I have this conversation all the time, whether it be Las Vegas, Arkansas, Miami. Young men they'll go out and spend money on fashion, but when it comes, and I've had this conversation with Coach Bo Jones here in Richmond, young men will go out and spend money on fashion and food, but they won't invest, from what I'm told, they won't invest in their career. They won't invest in $50 for 3 sessions with a professional trainer like yourself that can help them get a job, but they'll go to TGI Fridays, to the bar, and may burn up $100, but they won't invest $100 in their career with a professional basketball trainer that can further their career. You and I have this conversation all the time. I would love if you enlighten our listeners to your personal opinion. I think it's one of those things that, first of all, I think people do invest in their future. I think the narrative on that is changing because I'm proof. My business is proof. So I would like to, first start off with that because I think the parents do invest in the kids. I think I even have a lot of, not a lot, but I have a few pro players who have come to me and they paid outright. They invest in themselves. So it's not every player. You just be surprised, and you'll be able to tell what type of player you're working with on how often they come, if they can pay, or if they try to invest or save up. It kind of relates to their lifestyle as well too. So I just kind of step back, and I'm just always ready to help. I don't really get in the middle of everything, but you kind of understand the player as well. So it ain't all. You do.
I think it's also, like I said, there's so many trainers. It's kind of like anything else in life. You got a lot of cars or, anything that is a lot, it makes the value be more unappreciative. So I think that has a lot to do with it. However, there are a lot of good trainers here in Little Rock. So I just think, it's all about how people promote themselves, how organized they keep their business. And most of the time, only thing I really kind of think about is, look, a lot of people get the person closest to them. So that way they can work everything else out. Gas is high. So as long as you're just a resource in a community or any part of town, that's the important part. Knowing where your trainers are. You might not be able to be in Southwest Little Rock or in West Little Rock every day. You might want to, go to somebody that's in North Little Rock. Because I'm going to be staying over my grandma's house, and that's a good trainer over there. I'm not really against. I'm not against, kids being able to branch off. Because I know as a player growing up, I used to access different trainers and go to different workouts, and I would just really kind of balance it out. I would do more. I would, be everywhere I had to be. So I think that's the one thing that people and players have to understand is it ain't just one time a week or one trainer. It doesn't have to be just one trainer. Just make sure you're getting work in. Make sure you having a full schedule till it turns into routine. So, yeah.
Right.
Not to,
Okay.
Like I said, I think the narrative is changing on that. So I think a lot of players are willing to invest in their future, and I've seen a couple of players here in Little Rock and in Arkansas that it's not only players in Little Rock, but we've had players come from McGee, Monticello, Bentonville, Fayetteville. So we've had players come from around, and we had players come from. Two brothers came from Houston. So we've had a couple of players come, and people like the experience. They've heard great things. So I appreciate the parents for passing on the word, so we can be able to put our fingerprint on the players and their journey. So I think that's what
makes me feel good, man, because I personally I don't see it, but I hear other trainers and other coaches talk about it, and so I don't want to believe that, man. I want to believe that young people take it seriously. Just like we did.
That's it. It was our birthday.
Yeah, we got one more minute before your birthday. We're going to keep you past 12, maybe to 12:01, 12:02, to wish you a happy birthday, man. And then,
appreciate it.
we got 1 minute, huh? We got the countdown to your birthday going on.
Hey, man.
We got the countdown to your birthday, man.
Ain't gonna count it down. I'm gonna go ahead and try to chill out for a minute.
Well, that's a good thing, man. We want to say thank you, brother, for all that you do for us and representing our family and giving back to the young men. Whether it be Las Vegas, you've helped us, Virginia, and now you're doing your own thing in Arkansas. So it's a privilege to see you grow and to turn into the young man and to make that transition from professional basketball to entrepreneur. It's refreshing, man, and I try to do all I can to try to inspire you and keep you going. And
thank you.
Definitely, man. We got merch, some more stuff. This will be part one of our Buster Perkins. Happy birthday, by the way. It just turned 12 midnight. So happy birthday.
Over there. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Happy birthday, brother.
7 o'clock here.
I'm at 7 o'clock there.
Yeah.
Right. Wow, man. Well, we celebrating you here in Richmond, man. And we celebrating, and we want to say thank you, man. This will be part one of our podcast coming up. And this will be part one. Stay tuned. We're going to be doing a weekly podcast with Coach Perkins to kind of check in on what he has going on for the summer. His students, teaching basketball, life skills, building productive young people using basketball as a vehicle. So, Coach Perkins, happy birthday. Thanks for all you do. We'll be checking in on you in the upcoming weeks, my brother. We appreciate you for being with us tonight on our Juneteenth celebration podcast. Coach Buster Perkins, TMBT Media. We'll be talking to you guys. All righty.
Hold on.
Yes.
Milk.
Yes.
Let me
Coach P.
Man, shout out to you. Doing what you're doing for players. Can't leave you out, man. Shout out to the next generation because they're up next. And, I want them to get the best opportunity and be prepared for the opportunity when it does come, man. So shout out to you for doing what you do and all those G's who have down for it. Man, appreciate it.
We appreciate it, brother. Happy birthday, man. Okay, dog. We'll talk to you in a minute. Thank you guys for tuning in. All righty.